Test 1, 2. Hey, hey John, that you with the hoe? Yeah. Is that you blasting the hoe? Yeah, they sell earbuds now, you know. Okay. Hello, everyone. Someone give me a live chat if you can hear me. See what we can do here. Yeah, they sell earbuds. Got here. Okay, everyone, how you doing here? Hey, Mexicali, I want to check my shocks here. Can you hear me talking, man? Give me a shout out on live chat if you can hear me on the old earbuds. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, dude. Okay, this is a 34-gallon patio pond with a water lily that's very special to me, one of Kelly Foreman's favorites too. Um, in 2009, I lost nearly my entire collection of 100 pond plants by overwintering them outside in a stock tank, which worked fine for the first 10 years I did it, and has worked, would probably work well after that. But 2009 was an extended freeze and winter, and those stock tanks got to be a solid block of ice, like a giant ice cube. They buckled and ruined my collection. That's why I only store my plants either underwater in an in-ground pond or in boxes in my shed. And one of the water lilies I lost was one in this tub. This is the tub that's on the cover of the book. And I've been searching, I searched for about 15 years to replace that water lily. Still haven't, but I got one that's close and maybe even better. This is Marliac Ladecari prolifica. You can see this water lily here. It's really gorgeous. And they just opened. You can see the pool of nectar that's in there. That's tasty. So we're going to just fertilize this sucker probably for the last time. Probably for the last time this season. And see how the other plants are going. Let's just start with a few other ones, and then everyone can go to Whip's World and be grateful there is a Whip's World after you endure this. I'm just trying to document, really for myself, but I hope it helps other people. Just what I've been doing the past over 25 years with tub ponds when I started really getting into them and writing about them and in my magazine columns and in all the fish clubs, and this is all pre-YouTube. A lot of people found out about it that way Rachel O'Leary did a lot of work popularizing tub ponds. She went to YouTube then, um, and other people did after that. But when I started back in the late 90s, a few old timers were doing it, and that's it. Which is a shame because it's really the best way to keep your fish. This is their natural state. Putting your fish inside in an aquarium is not natural. So we're just going to clean this out a bit. This is golden creeping Jenny, which you get at a garden store. Not a lot of algae. I do get this bladderwort, which is a bit of a pain. Came in from a local pond, a local river, the Rockaway River. And creeping Jenny does not like full sun. It gets a little ratty, but it does work here. It'll grow in full sun. It just, to me, I think it always looks better. All right, this is a perforated pot, so I'm going to put the Pond Tabs Junior in the middle of the pot. One of the problems with the golden creeping Jenny is that you can't see the flowers because they're the exact same color as the plant. The natural green creeping Jenny, it gets filled with flowers. If you look in my book, I have a picture of it, and it's really a nice plant. They are invasive, but if you pot them, like I do, and keep them in the water, they're not. They also will grow in your aquarium. Sue Harkey keeps these in her aquarium. So it could work as a submersible and or as a paludarium plant indoors. It turns green indoors if you keep it even right under the light indoors. It's in the sun where it turns yellow, power of the sun. So that's one done. This is a dibber, English garden tool, very handy. Make sure you get one with a metal tip. All right, water hyacinth. I might have Devario eggs on here, so I want to put these in a bucket. That's how I'm raising up the plant. All right, let's see what we can do here. Oh wow, look at that root system there. This is a dwarf pickerel, pretty rare. I haven't seen it since. It's called Crown Point. Got it at a garden center in a box from Holland back about 25 years ago when there was a pond craze going on. You know, the pond hobby, a dealer once told me, goes in 7-year cycles, he said. Every 7 years there's another pond craze. So Home Depot, the pond craze is gone now. That's why Home Depot is no longer selling their patio ponds on the shelf. But you can see the root system here, pulling out some of the algae and bladderwort. It only grows this big. That's all it grows, so it's a handy plant to have. We're going to see if we could, let's see how the view looks here. We're just going to cut away a few things here. Do a little pruning with the razor knife. This is like a Bob Ross event today, right? Hey, you have your little plant here. We're gonna put him back in the tub with all his little friends, and that's what we're gonna do. It's tipping over because the root system is so massive. I use this as a filter. Pickerel is an amazing filter, and that's been scientifically shown to work really well. So, and it flowers all the time, right? Most annual pond plants, they flower for you in the spring. They have like a 3-week period. This thing flowers for me here in Zone 6 from June through October. And if you're in a warmer climate than Northwest New Jersey, even longer. Again, perforated pot. If I grew this in a pot with soil, or if I put this perforated pot in a goldfish or koi pond, it would turn into a frankenplant. It would get really dark green, a lot of foliage, and a lot of flowers. And I know Kelly does that, and I like that idea. I might do that myself. Now, when I finish my BAP program and I don't have to breed all these fish, I'm going to start experimenting with that. I do like a lot of filters, though, filter plants in my tub, because then it's less maintenance for me, and I'm keeping some fish that I want to make sure the water is really good for. We're not talking, always bulletproof fish like rice fish or rosy barbs, which are great outside. Don't get me wrong, I love them. This is a thermometer from a pond store, which means it's more accurate than the aquarium or pond versions that you buy online. Not pretty, but works better. Let's go to the main filter. This is a European cattail, not the American one, which is why it has this needle-like foliage. I'll bring it forward a little more. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Typha laxmanii actually. And I like this because it's softer with needle-like foliage. It's a zone 3 plant. You can put this, it stays cold. It comes up early and it goes brown early. But when it goes brown and the sun hits it, it's sort of a golden color. So you get a 2-season effect. With the cattails, I find they need some winter stratification. They need to be in a semi-frozen state in order to grow the catkins. You notice this? Well, that was interesting, folks. My iPhone had said that it had to cool down before I can use it. So this is one of the drawbacks of doing a live feed in full sun. My iPhone got too hot. Someone on the live chat, let me know if you can still hear my voice, will you? Because this phone shut down because it got too hot. I want to make sure that my speakers are still on here. All right. Everyone got me back here now? Someone send me a live chat, see if you can hear my voice, okay? How's that? Can you guys hear my voice now? Or see stuff? Let's see. Give me a holler, somebody here. Oh, please, Nancy B, get an Android. I'm not going to get an Android phone. Apple copy. Now, the iPhone got really hot. This is in full sun. I was right in the southern exposure. So it actually shut off. It's good now. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it. Don't you love Nancy B? She's a kicker, man. Gotta love Nancy B. Everyone should have a Nancy B in their life. But that's pretty good. So we're going to see what else we could really get here. We're going to go do the mini thalia now. There we go. My speaker's coming out okay, right? All right. Someone give me on the live chat if you can hear me. Yeah. That's good. So I think one of the other things that happened is it was not only in full sun, but I was actively using the camera and the video. So the processing power is going to make that phone hotter, combined with the full sun. I've never had that happen to my phone. I'm outside with it all the time. But now that I'm broadcasting from it, it got really hot. I think those two factors combined is the issue. So I have the phone now under an umbrella, you see. So now it'll stay cool. So live and learn in the wild west of broadcasting outside in the summer and southern exposure with all the bells and whistles going on. Using the dibble again, and I'm just going to add. So this plant that I'm doing is called Thalia dealbata, but it is a dwarf variety from Pete Nietzsche. It's a little more delicate. He lost his, and Pete never loses plants. And it doesn't get tall, it gets small. So this is the first year I've had it. It's got some transplant shock issues it dealt with. I like it a lot, actually. And it's nice if you're looking for a plant that doesn't get too tall. Really good filter, though. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's insane. If you want to, I have it on a brick. The brick is stuck to the pot. It bursted through the pot. I don't know if you can see that. The rise. This happens with athalias all the time, and cattails. They burst through the plastic pot. So by the end of the season, I could cut that right out with like roots. They overwinter well even in a plastic bag with peat moss, and you could give them away the next year. So that's way cool. This is what keeps this tank really clean. I got some rare Devarios in here, so I'm really going for water quality in this tub more than anything else. Another one here. All right, now I've got a breeder box in here. This is just a piece of egg crate snipped and put over a perforated pond basket with pea gravel at the bottom. And I just move this every couple of days back and forth into another tub for the fry to hatch out. At least that's what we're hoping. But I bred a lot of fish that way. Suki has these same fish growing with their parents. I'm going to use my bamboo pole now to get some algae out of here. We're just going to do some swirling. It's mostly bladderwort rather than algae. And you see I'm twirling and moving. And then I get this here. Roll it and smoke it, folks. All right. So I usually use the blunt end of a stick. This is for getting in between the plants, the toothbrush. But with bladderwort, I have to use the toothbrush side. And I'm just going to kind of get out. Not a lot in here. Just some clumps. They're sometimes easier to get out when they're underwater. There you go. Maybe I should put silver dollars outside so I don't have this problem, right? Did everyone see Jody and Emily's great live stream the other day on Planted and Enchanted on Bougie Beach's channel? Very exciting news about Jody. I'm looking forward to seeing that business and supporting it. They're very nice people. Granted, I wanted to change the name of the show at one time to Judgy and Bitchy, but really I think Planted and Enchanted is actually better. I was just being facetious. Remember, folks, you only roast the ones you love. And there is a thing called lampooning. You only do that to your friends, so keep that in mind. All right. Before we can get to whip, I'm going to pull this out. I love these pots. They're really durable, and they have a lip, which means you can lift them out. Okay. Whip stream is starting in about 5 minutes. I'm not gonna go over that. So let's see if we can get out some fish. When you keep your water lily out, you can't keep it out too long. Those pads dry out quickly. I'm just going to skim the surface with the Laguna Pond net from Hagen, my favorite net. And I'm just going to scoop out the top layer of any debris. So when the water gets warm, as you know, your ponds have a thermocline. Even a shallow 15-inch deep pond has a thermocline. If I put my hand in it, it gets colder as I get to the bottom, even though it doesn't look that deep. And that's thermodynamics for you. And that's why you can keep fish outside in a full sun tub that's shallow. This tub is wider than it's deep. And if it's wider than it's deep, you have adequate gas exchange. And that's been my experience after killing lots of fish over the years. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at the fish. Ooh, we got lots of them. These crazy Devarios from Wet Spot. Probably can't get a good shot of them here. I am keeping the camera in the shade because it's doing a lot of processing power now combined with the sun. You can see them there. They're very happy. I'm going to put a cover. I'm going to want to get them back in quickly. I just want to look for any muck in here, any dragonfly larvae. There's another boy. There's another boy. See the boy there? No dragonfly larvae. These guys have been eating them before they get big, because they are, as most Devarios are, they're voracious. I'll talk about these at the Clash at my Danny O&A talk. They're nice fish. You can probably see some of them a little better there, maybe. Let's see if we can get a little view for you there. They have stripes on the side. They're more from a clear water area, so they're not a tub pond fish, but Sue has them growing for her just fine. They love it outside. They're real active. They come up to the surface for me. Haven't lost a single one to a jumper. A little harder to breed for me than other Danios, though. I kept them over the winter and did not have as easy a time with them. So I think I'm going to check the clock so everyone can get over to whip. I'm going to put this back in here. Again, that's just to raise up the plant. I don't need this for the plant. I have it there strictly for aesthetics because it makes the plant taller and makes your tub look bigger. And then forming an arc this way, we have the pickerel, which is a little shorter. And we have the thalia, also on a brick. I don't have to have them on a brick. They're just there for the visual effect. And the water lily that is flowering so nicely is up on top here. I've got to fertilize that. Let's see. Get the flower. You can see the big, beautiful flower bud on this guy right there. Marliac Laedekeri prolifica. The Laedekeris, believe, were named after Marliac's son-in-law. And what's nice about the Laedekeris is that they stay small and they flower pretty profusely. So if you get any of the Laedekeri varieties, I would highly recommend them. Not 1 o'clock yet, so we're just going to keep going here. Okay, now for the fun part. Both Dr. Foreman and I generally do not like to divide our lilies in the fall. because, hey, we got better things to do. Um, I got this thing blooms profusely, hence the name Prolifica. So I'm going to enjoy these for the rest of the month. Thrive Fertilizer, which is from Michigan company, works real well. I used to use Pond Tabs, which is the industry standard, but there were issues I've had and some commercial growers had with consistency in their performance. Now you notice with these solid pots, I'm putting the tablet at the edge of the pot near the wall. These are really hot fertilizer, waterlily tablets. You don't want to put them right underneath the crown. You're going to burn that plant. I burn plants that way. I'm wondering how come I'm not getting flowers? What's going on? Why does the plant have a shallow root system and weak? I realized I was putting the fertilizer in the wrong place. And a third one. So this is about a 5-quart pot. Right? I generally put 2 water lily tablets per gallon pot. This is 5-quart. I'm going to do 3. I could do 4. If I had a bigger pond, I might. 3 seems to work. This plant doesn't need as much fertilizer. You know, you can over-fertilize, right? If you over-fertilize, you get leggy growth sometimes. Some plants don't tolerate it well. I know everyone pushes fertilizer, but this plant is prolific without a lot of fertilizer. So why am I going to waste fertilizer? I could even put just 2 in here. Last year, this thing just bloomed for me without fertilizer for the first 3 months. It's a crazy plant. I got this at Van Nuys Water Garden, which is an old business sold to a nice Asian man in California. And they've been around. I think they're probably one of the last old water lily and water garden places remaining. And he had it here. He's the only guy who had this plant. And it was expensive. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'll be selling these at auction and making up your money for it. You know, you don't, that's the thing about hardy water lilies or any water lily, mostly the hardies. You can make up the cost very quickly. So here we go back in the drink. And the flowers are like, what did you do to me? I was sitting so nicely, and now I'm all discombobbled, you Guido bastard. That's what they're saying, because my plants talk to me. I know. Don't judge. Don't be like Jody and Emily with their show, okay? Only kidding. Love you guys. Yeah, you should definitely watch The Planted and Enchanted. That's one of my favorite shows. That Steven show I watch, and of course Whip. So I'm gonna end now. Let you all go to Whip's world. Thanks for joining me, documenting what I do, and I'll see you later, guys. Bye.